In an earlier movie, we showed a really interesting approach by Hager Design. They set up a design with a whole series of rectangles indicating areas that are going to be plotted on separate sheets. So we were able to take this little blue rectangle here with a number 3, and that enabled us to navigate to number 3 here, and that was the zone corresponding to number 3. So that's a very clever way to explain to a client a complex design such as this. We also show that it's possible by playing with layers to put the border sheet, the gridded border sheet, on a different layer and hide it. What I want to also illustrate using this drawing for this lovely piece of design work is that you can square things up if there's a particular need, and I've set a new tab, a layout tab. Can you see now that the design switches to horizontal? And if I go back to the model, here's the model, you can see that most of the work's been done on that angle. I just drew a line along the edge of the building, and it's an angle of 36.13, I think. And what we can do, or what we've done here, so if I go into the layout, I do have a floating viewport. Let me just zoom out a little and see if I can pick it. And there it is. And if you come over here to the properties box, there's the 36.13. So we've twisted the floating viewport. And if I double click in here, you'll see the effect. We come into the area and we are looking at that angle. So by changing the angle of the floating viewport, you can change what your clients see on a particular sheet. So let's display it back on the viewport. The other thing I've done, sorry, I need to find that floating viewport again. The other thing I've done is turn off the text layer. That's this little zone through here. Let's zoom in on it. And there's some text that looks awkward. It's because it's been drawn in model space to be horizontal. With the twist, it's changed its angle. So in order to overcome that, I'll just right click on here and go to, I need to get in on there, and viewport layers, and scroll down to text and turn off the text layer, and that little piece of text that you see up at the top of the screen will now disappear, and we can escape from there, and we want to unselect all, and we can zoom back out again. So I hope that gives you just another opportunity where you can change quite easily the appearance of a design by rotating the floating viewport. Well, if a client needs a squared off view of a design, the other approach is to rotate the whole design, and that would mean I'd have to rotate and then move pieces of text into position like so. So let's zoom out. So what's happened there is the whole design's been rotated, and then if we go into the overview, there's the rotated design, and I've got room for a floating viewport in here, and I'll just move that across a little and maybe up a little. I've got room for the automatically generated plant schedule. Don't forget that if we go back here, you can jump into the plant schedule and edit. It's a block. You can edit that block and change, for the sake of argument, the height of text in there. Let's make it 600 so it becomes obvious, and then we'll close the block editor. And then when we return to the overview here, the plant schedule is labelled a little more clearly. So they're just two approaches to just changing the orientation of how you see a piece of landscape design work.